For those who don't know me, by profession, I've got to admit I'm an accountant. I did all that. I then ended up as sales and marketing director of a very large chemical distribution business, and I ended up with a job from hell. So I walked out at the age of 50, thought I'd retire, and that didn't work. So Parafix was one of my suppliers. So I went along there and spoke to the guy who owned it, who set it up, and said, I need to do something really. He said, I've heard that. I said, have you still got that half-wit managing director working for you? He said, no, I got rid of it. I said, I'll come and work for you. So I can't afford you. I said, look, we'll work something out. Unbeknown to me, they were losing £400,000 a year. The guy who owned it was a multi-millionaire. He basically, some of you may know him, but I guess quite a lot of you won't. And he's still a very, very good friend of mine, this guy. And so he'd get in the morning, he'd phone his stockbroker. The company was run by his ability to run stocks and shares. The trading was appalling, and it was just going nowhere. So we got hold of it, and I'm not bragging myself, it just, what I'd learned in industry, we just did there. So we put all these processes in, simple things like, what's your stock turn? I don't know. It was hopeless, it was 2.6 times a year. What's your OTIF? What does that mean? Well, they got to about Wednesday and then never delivered on time for the rest of the week, so it was hopeless. And a whole host of these sort of things. And I realised that what I'd got in this company, which I eventually bought, was a tremendous talent and enthusiasm, but they only knew what they knew. They didn't know what they didn't know. And the reason I'm telling you this is when I bought the business and borrowed the money, and I'm very open with money, I borrowed £4 million to buy the company. I went to the bank, I got the money, amazingly, with no lien on any of my properties. That was the old days. And I had to write a business plan. And part of the business plan, as you all know, is a SWOT analysis. One of Parafix's great strengths was a very low turnover of staff. One of its great weaknesses was a very low turnover of staff. And the reason I tell you that story, it's not that what they knew was bad, they only knew what they knew. So I had to go out into the fraternity and look for stakeholders. Look for people who are prepared and would want to come and support the initiative of a small engineering company in Lancing, losing £400,000 a year. And I went out and I went to the university, which was fantastic. In those days it was Sussex Enterprise, but again, I had great support from them. We had people coming in to teach my men how to look after inventory control. The stock turn now I've had to stop because they wanted to go to 7. I said, you can't. I've got to satisfy customers' needs. It's not about just driving stock down. So there's a balance. So we've gone out, we went to see all our stakeholders, and we've had a great deal of input. And the reason I say that is I've now got to a situation where we'll make £1 million profit this year. And we don't overcharge, we make good products. And that's why you'll buy from me. And what we've done is we've streamlined this organisation. We've got people in the right place doing the right things, and we've had a great deal of support. So I'm now in a position where I can give back. I'm 63 years old. We've got an organisation that works without me, and I get involved in a lot of activities. Those who know me, I've got a lot of energy. So we focused on getting some young people into the organisation. Last year we took on 10 under 25-year-olds. Last year we started an apprenticeship scheme. It's fantastic. And we've now got these people working in and around the business, challenging. I mean, you've seen the video I did for you, when we're talking about interviewing, getting young people involved. They challenge me. They're not rude, but I love them to come and say, boss, why are you doing this? Well, if I've got an answer, that's fine, but I don't know the answer to why the business runs, so you don't know. So we go away and find out. And sometimes, because do you know why? Because we've always done it. So they are challenging. Okay. It's been remiss of me not to say a few words about Parafix. It's basically a grown-up Blue Peter. We take large rolls of sticky tape. They're about 2 ton in weight, and they could be 3 metres wide, so they come in on pallets, forklifts and things like that. We cut them down into manageable sizes. If you were to walk through my engineering shops, you'd think we were just a traditional engineering company, but instead of using metals, we're using soft substrates. So the green machines or the blue machines are still whirring around. Men are there and working, ladies as well, working them through, but we're cutting soft substrates. So we're taking adhesive tape, we're die cutting them precisely, incredibly accurate areas into the electronics, automotive, healthcare businesses. 60 times a day you'll come across one of my products without even realising it. I mean, a number of your companies would use them, the road signs, your television, sat-navs, I won't go on about that. And then we laminate another product to it. So typically, if in the old days, when the laptops were around, you'd feel heat coming through the side. Well, that's a Parafix tape. That's an adhesive tape that is sticking two substrates together and is dissipating the heat. So it's all of this ingenious stuff. Look on my website if you're really interested. But more importantly, look on my website, so look at Laura. Now, Laura is wonderful in my life. I was at the Sir Robert Woodard Academy down the road, where Lancing Business Park works with. So a number of us work on the business park. I'm chairman of the bid there. We engage with the school. I was doing a presentation to a number of youngsters about how they prepare themselves for job interviews and things like that, which a lot of us do. And I said, by the way, we're starting apprentices. So I said, we're an engineering firm, we're looking for apprentices. We're just having a stack halfway through. This young lady comes over, she introduces herself, she's the head girl of the school. She's just been accepted at Exeter University to do a degree in engineering. She wanted to do an apprenticeship. Oh, wow. Okay, well, you better come in to be interviewed. So, because she's 17, 18, I thought, oh, it's awkward, because I've got grandchildren at age. I think I wouldn't mind one of your parents coming with you. This is to a 17, 18-year-old young lady. So, anyway, I got away with that one. And then, so a dad couldn't make it, he was busy. Mum come along, I did chat in another punterism. You're not encouraged to do this route because it's expensive for university, are you? I mean, that's a terrible thing to say, but I thought I should ask. She said, no, this is her decision. Laura has become a model student. She's doing day release, she's doing BTEC and MVQs. She's got distinctions on every subject she's taken. She does a blog for me to encourage young ladies and young people to follow what she's doing every day. Look on the Parafix website. It's a good website, by the way, but have a look at it and follow Laura's blogs. And anybody that wants to use that in promoting what young people do in engineering, use it. There's pictures, she'll talk to you. She's now a STEM ambassador herself. I read blog 11 yesterday. I didn't even know this. She's working at a school in Hove on a go-karting project as a STEM ambassador. You can't get it any better. So she's firing away. She's a fantastic person. Everybody in the factory loves her. She's doing all real work, by the way, now, as well as her apprenticeship. A young man comes up to me, Mike, because that's what they call me. I'd like to do day release. I don't have Laura's academic qualification. He's working in the shop floor. He wants to improve himself. Okay. He said, I'm prepared not to take a salary increase for 3 years if you're prepared to give me day release. How good's that? We're a small company. I've got 200 people now. We've got a factory here in Lancing, and if you didn't know, we've got another one in Budapest where we manufacture out there and distribute and make for Central Europe. And these young people, I've got to say, we don't find difficulty in attracting. We get a lot of granddads recommending their youngsters come work for us. There's big family groups, and I think you've got the same number of people, haven't you? Yeah, I thought so. Well, we've got big family groups, so we must be doing something right, where somebody's going to recommend their grandson to come and go to work for us. So that helps us. You hardly ever see an advertisement for Parafix looking for a vacancy, unless it's on Lancing Business Park or something like that. Okay, so that's a bit about me and Parafix. I was asked 3 questions. 1, why get involved in the Big Bash? Right. We got involved because we're an engineering company and I wanted to give something back. I looked at the Big Bash and I thought, Then I realised it was going to attract, it was amazing. And if you didn't go to Ardingly, you were mad. There were 7,500 young people there. And the energy level and the enthusiasm was fantastic. The way we set up our stand or stall, we didn't give it to our marketing people, we didn't give it to our sales people, we gave it to our apprentices. This is your task. You've got the resource, you can get stuff from our suppliers, and that's what that is. Some of you will recognise 3M, they're my biggest supplier. That's not literally that board, but that is polyamide, and that's another piece which is stuffed by a very high bond tape. It's stronger than pot rivets and welds, and the idea, well, these kids broke it then, not the tape, the frame. All they wanted to do was come in and bomb on it. It was wonderful. But, oh yeah, in the back, the 2 older ones, that's Laura and my other apprentice. They ran it for me. I was there because I wanted to get out in the sunshine and enjoy it, but it was fantastically exciting. So, if for no other reason, do that and see the energy that's around and the initiatives that they're doing. It was a great day. More companies should get involved in this, I've written down here. Empower your younger people, and they've really got to, they can absorb the energy. I've got to say, I'd have been knackered if I'd have put up with these kids coming off there. But to do it, how it worked, was one thing for them to get active. I think someone said that, let them leap up and down. The other thing is, we had a big gong. Dong! But we've got a tape that you put on the back of it for sound deadening. So we get them there and not tell them when they had the sound deadening tape on it. And one of them can't run at it, they go, dong! Or it wouldn't. And they found that fantastic. And the third thing we gave them was a little strip of this tape. It's a little, and they've got to try to pull it apart. And they can't, of course, because it's very high bond. And all of a sudden, they'd go off with these things, and we gave them sweets as well. But they'd go off, and then they'd creep back and ask questions. And it was fantastically exciting. Right, finally, I was asked, what about the preparation for it? Well, obviously it's simple, if you organise it properly. This is part of you giving back. And as I said earlier, when I first started Parafix, I was a taker. I had to take. Now I'm in a position where I can give. So you've got to decide whether you're a giver or a taker, and it's all about where you are in your life and your market. But keep it simple. Make sure you understand what you've got to do there. Make sure your message is clear, because the number of the stands I saw, I wasn't sure what they were there for. A lot of companies were there to promote themselves and thought that wasn't work, and have a load of giveaways. So if that helps at all, that's Mike Punter's view on the STEM. I thought it was brilliant.